Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's entertainment. This is the Note 3, the Galaxy Note 3. And this is my talk about it. Because today I wanted to show you basically how it works, how well it works in 2018. Hope you enjoy. Okay, so I bought this I think it was, must have been late 2013 or 14, I'm not sure actually. But I remember when this was released, and there are a couple of things. First of all, it has this big screen, which is still big. It's 5.7 inches, it's full HD, it's really sharp, it's OLED. It was unheard of. It was this enormous screen, and the performance was really snappy, and there's like 32 gigs on this, plus memory card extension, micro SD. I have 128 gigs in this one, and I still use this thing. But the most impressive thing about it when it was released, and why I really got it, is because it shot in 4K, which was unheard of even in mirrorless cameras and DSLRs. So it was a really big deal. I mean, a smartphone was basically better than DSLRs. Now, I used to rock the Canon T3i, you know, the Rebel T3i, the Canon 600D. And this shot in more details than that. It shot in 4K. And I used to, actually when I started making this channel, the GoPro channel, the original channel, this is what I used to film it. So it was, this was really, really awesome. And it had so many cool features. But for instance, even the selfie cam, which wasn't that good, but it filmed in full HD, which some smartphones even today don't. So it was really cool at the time. And of course it did have the stylus, which I'm not a big fan of, but there are many people who think that this is an amazing thing in smartphones and it's not being used enough. Being as it is a very old phone, at the time Samsung was kind of into plastic, and it was sort of cheap plastic, so it does have a few dents and scratches. And it had this this interesting fake leather backplate, and you just removed it. Which, you know what, yeah, it may not seem that high quality today compared to today's standard, but I sort of miss that. You know, everything is like glass and metal, and this, like, if you scratched it up too much, which was basically impossible because plastic is pretty good, even if it feels cheap sometimes, but you could just snap it off and just exchange it, you know. And you had a replaceable battery, which is not common these days, which I miss, which I really miss actually, because I'm going to show you something. This battery, I think it's it doesn't really say, but I think it's like 3000 milliamps, which is pretty good. But the processor, it's not that efficient, so it actually only lasted a whole day, only a whole day. So what you could do is that you could remove the battery and put it in this big chunky battery, and you could put on like a bigger backplate. And boom, this was a good solution. Now this battery that I just put on, it has like 7,000 milliamps. Yeah, so this would definitely get me through the day. And if you run out, you could just remove this backplate again and just exchange the battery. I don't understand why we have abandoned this system. Oh, and if you don't like the plasticky backplate, you could always get like a metal one on Amazon, and it works really nice. There you have nice metal finish. It may surprise you, but I actually still use this smartphone today. yeah, for all of those who think I'm some kind of an Apple fanboy, which I am, I also do use the occasional Android smartphone devices. Now, this smartphone, I really like it. It has a place in my heart. I don't think I'm ever gonna sell it or give it away because I have so many memories with it and I still use it. So what do I use it for? Well, I always like to explore, and this particular smartphone, it's basically been routed or routed. I don't know how to pronounce it, but basically I can exchange the firmware on this. I put in the Galaxy S8 firmware on this, basically making this smartphone think it is Galaxy S8. So you see, it's a standard Galaxy S8 style. So it's a lot of fun, and if you don't like the camera, you can just remove the camera app, you can remove quality, you can change the quality. You can have a lot of fun when you're rooting your phone, but it can also brick it, so I don't know if I should recommend it or not. Now, for the big question, can you use this in 2018? Oh, hell yes. Hell yes. I'd have to say that there is only one thing about this smartphone that I do not like compared to today's smartphones. And actually, it's two things. One is the low light performance. It's really bad. I mean, it basically sucks on the Galaxy Note 3, the low light performance. Other than that, the camera is actually quite stellar. If you're outside and it's bright outside, it's really good. But the other thing that I don't like is the buttons, the plasticky buttons. Yeah, I always seem to like accidentally hit them. There's very little resistance. You can very easily just tap and click it. So it just takes some getting used to. It does have a headphone jack for those of you who are interested in it. And it does have 4G and LTE, and that works really well. The screen is really good. It is actually, I think it's better than on my iPhone 7, which is a lot newer, you know. But that's probably because it's an IPS display and this is the OLED, Super AMOLED, or whatever the hell you want to call it. So yeah, it's got a big screen. I remember that I did not think it was comfortable to hold. I felt it was too big. But today, as you probably noticed, most people are rocking, plus editions of smartphones. And I gotta say, today it doesn't really feel that big. It's weird. My iPhone 7 is smaller, but yeah, it's weird. I could definitely go for a plus size these days. So I still use it. Because there are certain things about Android that I need or really badly want. There's an app called TubeMate, which is an app where you can basically download YouTube videos and watch them offline. I don't know how legal that is actually, but that's what I do because if I'm on a train or bus, I don't want to use my volume from. I don't want to pay for extra volume, basically. I want to keep it, I want to be offline. That's what I want. So, performance, it's on par with some budget phones today, but it is snappy. Maybe you can't play the absolute latest games, but if you're really not into gaming, just browsing the web, using social media, you really can't go wrong with this one. It's rocking 3 gigs of RAM also, so it's good, and I really recommend it. I really do. I think you can definitely use this in 2018. If you can get this for a cheap price, I totally think it's worth it, especially considering that you can just flip out, change the batteries. You can have how many batteries you want, and basically, when my iPhone won't work anymore because I have to replace the battery, I will still be able to use this one because I can just exchange the battery myself, So it's a big plus. I have actually no doubt in my mind that I will use this smartphone much longer than I will use my iPhone 7 because of this battery thing. So yeah. that was my little video slash podcast about the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 in 2018. Hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, you know the drill. Hit the like button, subscribe, put in a comment, let me know what you think, and I'll see you later.